Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and I have an amazing guest with us today. I got Mr. Hart Fisher, actor, director, and he is running a free streaming app right now on Roku TV. American Horrors, 24 hours of horror. Hart, thank you for coming, man.
My pleasure, man. It's good to be here. Christopher said good things about you, so I was really excited to be on the show.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Chris was a great guy too. That's a great interview. I think that's coming on tomorrow. So Hart, real quick. So most people probably know of you because in the 90s, you created a comic book based on Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer. And you were on Jerry Springer, Phil Donahue. You got so much shit for that comic book. So tell us about that.
It was pretty crazy because, when you do a comic book, one of the things that nobody really broaches the subject about with that Dahmer book is that was a completely manufactured controversy created by the mass media. A television reporter bought the Jeffrey Dahmer biography book, Jeffrey Dahmer, an unauthorized biography of a serial killer. And so some TV reporter grabbed the book in Milwaukee and took the book and ambush interviewed the victims' families at their doorstep, at their door with the book. Like, what do you think of this book here? And to me, when I wrote the book, I was dealing with a very distasteful subject matter. I mean, I think what Dahmer did is awful, evil, it's terrible. And I feel that a lot of times serial killers they gloss over how they perpetrate their crimes. And I think one of the important things, and I think one of the things that was really important for me to tell the story was I wanted to illustrate this is how they do it. This is how they're going to get you. This is how the killers are going to come, and this is how they trick you. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did the book, I had no idea there was going to be any controversy at all. To me, it was just another comic book, and it went crazy. I mean, the victims' families protest marched my house. I was sued by the victims' families. At one point, I lost. At one point, my lawyer just didn't show up to court. We're talking 1990s money here. My mother, thank you, Doris Fisher, the late great Doris Fisher. My mother gave me the money to hire a lawyer for the court case because I got sued by the victims' families over this book. And it's completely factual. The book was completely factual. I researched it at the public library, and I bought a book from the local B. Dalton Books at the mall in Champaign-Urbana. And I think it was like apartment 213 or something like that. And so I did this book, and the media cast me as this villain, as this evil person, this Satan worshiping, uneducated thug. And I think that part of the problem was that I kind of resembled Jeffrey Dahmer. I've got blonde hair, I have blue eyes, and back then I had those glasses just like Jeff did. So I could see how the victims' families needed a target, and they were angry. They were so angry because their loved ones were murdered. That's tough because I was going through it myself. In the middle of the controversy, in the middle of the book being pilloried and me doing these talk shows, my girlfriend was raped and murdered by a black criminal that Eric, he had hurt a lot of people, and he had robbed a lot of white hen pantries and stuff. And he shot somebody robbing the hotel that my girlfriend worked at, Charterhouse Inn. He shot somebody. He robbed that place 10 days before she was working there. And they locked one of my friends had been working there as the night auditor, and they'd be doing the books at night. And so my buddy Rob, who was doing the Garbage Man with me, he took a break from work to do the movie, The Garbage Man. And my film, The Garbage Man, is about a black serial killer, a lot like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, very, very much like Henry, and a little bit of bits of clean shaven. And so it was really surreal that a character just like the guy in my movie, The Garbage Man, raped and murdered my girlfriend in the middle of making this film. And was horrendous. It was a sex crime, and the guy's defense was he was her lover on the side, and they liked rough sex, and that's why she was beat up at the end of her life. And it really got crazy. It really, really was insane, and it really affected my family. It affected my friends. I had a mental breakdown for sure. I had a total mental breakdown in the middle of making the film when she got murdered. So the Dahmer book to me is a real it's a real difficult time in my life. And it brings up a lot of madness, a lot of insanity, because the Dahmer book itself was just very cut and dry retelling of the Dahmer story. And I hired a newspaper illustrator to draw this, and we purposely avoided the sensational aspects. If anybody's seen the Netflix special, where, Jesus, 30 years after I published the book, Netflix does this big 10-part story about Dahmer. It's really insane that they brought it up 30 years later. It's been 30 damn years, and they're still damning me and still portraying like I'm pro serial killer or something. Or they wouldn't even mention my name, and they photoshopped the covers in the book. So when you're watching the Netflix special on Dahmer, they photoshopped in their actor on the cover of my book, and that's fraud. They didn't talk to me. They did not get any kind of release from me. My business is entertainment. That's what I do with American Horrors, et cetera, et cetera. So I have had my work in many, many films, including Serial Mom by John Waters. And Serial Mom has in court the Dahmer book in her hand while she's being tried. So it's a part of culture. It's a part of pop culture. It's a part of our history in America. And it's amazing that people still are talking about the book. And I'm about to release it again because of the Netflix special. I was never going to reprint this book. I was going to leave it alone. I was going to walk away from this subject matter. It's caused a lot of heartache to my family. So the Netflix special came out of nowhere, and they got my books in it. So I had to reprint them because they're lying about the books. They're misrepresenting the content of the books on purpose. It isn't like before. They got the comics. And so in episode 10 of the Dahmer series on Netflix, I believe there's a scene where the mothers of several of the victims' families are having a coffee clutch. And I knew these women. I knew them. When you do a talk show, it's shot as if it's live, right? So then they cut to commercial. And you're sitting there for the whole commercial break next to them, talking. And I had done several talk shows with these women, and I really felt for them. I really felt for them. I thought their kids were killed by Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, come on. And I was unhappy that my book caused them pain, but at the same time, I did not go to their home and jam the book in their face. The mass media did that. And every talk show I was on, I wasn't paid to be there. No, they were paid to be there. The victims' families were paid money to go on the air and cry and be victims. But I wasn't. I had to go on these shows to defend my book, my work, my artists, the people that supported me. So it was a really, really dark time. And I'm going to sip my rum and coke and let you ask a question.
I was going to say, Hart, 30 years later, the Netflix show came out. It brought Jeffrey Dahmer into a new light of a new generation of people who were not even alive when Jeffrey Dahmer was a menace. And I even remember seeing last year people were dressed like Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween. Like it was a thing. Like it, and it's like the Netflix, the Netflix show kind of glorified Jeffrey Dahmer to me.
I felt I really feel that the Netflix special absolutely glorified serial killers and serial killing and Jeffrey Dahmer. And it was everything that I was angry about when I did the goddamn book. These guys are scumbags. Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer was a child rapist. That's what that fucking cocksucker was. He was a piece of shit. And so People Magazine and these other people glorified him. And they continue to glorify him. And that's how I feel about the Netflix special. So they demonized my work and they demonized me without naming me. That's why I brought the book back. That's why I'm doing the big book of Dahmer. That's Christopher Pelton over at Psychotoxin Press has been helping me get a lot of my stuff back into print. I'm really eager for people to read this stuff for themselves. I really am. I want them to make their own judgments. And I feel that the Netflix special completely maligned my work, completely lied about my work, completely misrepresented my work and the work of my artists. Because it wasn't just myself. There's several people. When you make a comic book, you got your penciler, your inker. And one of the cool things about my Dahmer books is, okay, so I did the Dahmer, an authorized biography of a serial killer. Then I got sued. I had to come up with $5,000 in 1990s money as a guy who just got out of college, and I was working as a bouncer.
Wow.
He didn't make a gazillion dollars off of this book. You're talking about a what, $295 book, and I only got 40% of the cover price, 1,000 copies for the first print. I mean, it really is not a lot of dough. So how the talk show people kept misrepresenting the book, misrepresenting it, and acting like I was some person that was exploiting these poor people and making millions. But the fact of the matter was they were. They were. Sally, Jesse Raphael, Jerry Springer, all the talk show mill, they were exploiting these people for money. They wanted them to cry on the air. They wanted them to be upset on the air. They wanted that. It's sick. It's absolutely sickening. I never did that. I never made money off of their moms crying on the air. Jesus Christ, it was so awful. It was absolutely awful. My first talk show was a Closer Look with Faith Daniels. And now that the sun's down, you can see me in the eye.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I mean, you're a human being, and there's somebody's mom whose kid was killed and she's crying. That's hard. That is hard to deal with. And that was a Closer Look with Faith Daniels, my first talk show. And it was all smoke and mirrors. It was all bullshit. They were all lying. The talk show hosts were all lying. They shoot these things 2-3 times a day, and they shoot it like it's live. So you're on the show, and when they break for commercial, they break. Like you're sitting there for about 5 minutes, and you just had this big fight with somebody sitting right next to you, and now we're going to be right back.
It's quiet.
It's surreal. Really surreal. And so I really enjoy the podcast generation, like being on your show and talking with you as a person. We're having an actual conversation here. And it isn't there. Okay. In the audience of the talk shows, I could see production hands were in the audience leading the audience. Oh, boo, 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 boo. Oh, yay, yay, yay. So it was all a show. But for me, it was my life, and it affected my mother. It affected my family, my father, my brother. My mom worked for the Department of Public Aid in Chicago. So my mother has been working for the state of Illinois since 1969, helping people in need. Okay. So, and especially she went to like the Robert Taylor homes in Chicago, a couple of times Cabrini Green, some very dangerous, dangerous fucking neighborhoods. And that was my mom. So for a while, because of these assholes on the talk shows, my mother couldn't tell the other people at work who her son was because they were portraying me as a racist, asshole, misogynist, dickhead. You know what I mean? Satan worshiper. I don't worship Satan. Are you fucking out of your mind? He's a loser. Satan's a loser. Everybody at home, Hart T. Fisher says Satan's a goddamn loser. He's the child in the basement who screams because he won't serve his father upstairs. Oh, it's better to rule in the basement rather than serve above in the house. You know what I mean? So it's unbelievably insulting to be portrayed as a Satanist because I'm sorry, man, that guy's a loser. All you Satanists out there, I know a ton. I know some people from the LeVay family. I know people who erected the Baphomet over in Oklahoma, Lucian Greaves. I know these people. These are people I party with and drink with and do stuff with. So when I talk about Satan worshipers, I might know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm Daniel and I go in and I beard the lion in his den.
So I have a question. With all of this controversy hitting you, how were you able to transition into acting and then directing?
Well, the weird thing is, okay, when you're a comic book artist, you grow up. I've been drawing comic books since I was 5 years old. So since I was 5 years old, I've been drawing my own comic books. And one of the coolest things, I mean, my mother's passing sucked. I miss her. I really miss my mom. But going through her things at my childhood home, I got to find a box of all the comics I drew as a child. A whole giant box of every comic book I drew since I was 5. Holy shit.
He saved all of them. That's amazing.
Thank you, Mom. So that was pretty intense. Finding those books and reading those books and going through them, like I brought them back, and one of my buddies here in Lake Geneva, the Hobbit, Trike just now going to be Trike's Comic Alley. So salute to Trike. He was going through these comics with me, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And there was one I did it. And there was 31 issues.
Wow.
31 issues. I mean, they were like probably 10 pages each issue, but still, I don't even remember drawing 31 issues of The Beast.
Yeah. I mean, that's a commitment right there.
Yeah, so my mother and my father were really supportive of what I was doing. And when the Dahmer controversy hit and the way it affected my mother, I was mad. I was really angry about that. My mom didn't do anything wrong. The fact that she couldn't tell her coworkers who her son was really made me angry. So all those talk show people, all those people that malign me, yeah, I've got a hard on for you. I have a hatred for you. These liars, people that will stir up trouble for their own profit. And it really, my mother suffered. And that really upsets me a lot, a great deal. It really bothers me. And she's passed, she's gone now. And so I was just down there this week. Stuff with my house, and it's a house I grew up in with my brother. And so I feel this tremendous responsibility to take care of this property, to take care of this home. There's so many memories there, and my mother was really there for me. So there's so much about the Dahmer book that affected my whole family. It'd be really tricky for me to be doing the Big Book of Dahmer, which is about to come out. It's about to come back into print. I've been working with Chris on this over at Psychotoxin Press. He's helping me put this together. I've been working to digitally restore the artwork. And we're talking about artwork that's 30 years old. It's 30 years
You
old.
can't find those comics anywhere.
No, go ahead, brother.
Huh? No, I was saying it's hard to even find one of those comics in 2023.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to have the Big Book of Dahmer. It's available if people want to buy a copy, if they want to reserve a copy. Go to indiegogo.com. We've got the Big Book of Dahmer there. It's going to reprint all 4 books because once the bio book hit and I got sued and I had legal fees, now I got legal fees. I'm just a dude. I'm 24. I got out of art school and I've got a degree in fucking art and I'm a bouncer at a bar and I'm doing Taekwondo. So I didn't have $5,000 lying around. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. My mom saved my ass. And so I had to get a lawyer and we had to go to court. And so part of the reason that there were more Dahmer books was because of the lawsuit. If these assholes didn't sue me, there wouldn't have been any more Dahmer books. I had to do them. And I was mad. I was angry now. I was like, okay, the first book, I tried to be nice. I tried to handle a very distasteful subject matter as tastefully as I fucking could. But you're talking about a child rapist and a guy who strangles men and has sex with their dead bodies. Fuck, man, that's a hard subject matter to deal with. So we did our best with it. And so because of the lawsuit, because of my need to generate income to pay the lawyer to defend me in court, that's why there is a young Jeffrey Dahmer book. That's why there's Dahmer Zombie Squad. That's why there's Jeffrey Dahmer versus Jesus Christ. And I said it on one of the talk shows. One of the local community leaders, actually Parasite, who used the blight of her community to make money. Every time this woman was on camera, you could tell she had more money, better hair care, better makeup. She was using the victims' families. These people that say they're community leaders, they weren't. They were community parasites. I'm talking about you, Arch Murchison. I'm talking about you, Janetta Robinson. You people. And you hear me say you people. And I mean, you assholes are fucking assholes who used the victims' families to profit and make money. They made money. They were paid money for all of their talk show appearances. I was not. I was there out of principle. So, Arch, Janetta, you're the reason there were more Dahmer books. And I said this, I believe, on Jerry Springer. But you two are the reason there were more Dahmer books, you assholes. There didn't have to be any more Dahmer books. Because of you, there were 3 more. And man, they're crazy. Dude, oh my God, I've been wrestling with my
but I hear that they're crazy.
No, they're not. Travis, The Further Adventures of Young Jeffrey Dahmer with his best friend, Danny Quayle. Mm-hmm. They take a straw and they put it in a frog's butt and they blow him up and make him explode. There's a scene with Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr. with their cocks out to rape young Jeffrey Dahmer and young Danny Quayle. Oh my God. There's some insane shit in here. And then the artwork from Nelson Danielson on Dahmer Zombie Squad and Jeffrey Dahmer versus Jesus Christ. It's so good. It's funny as hell. It's really funny because it's all about the Antichrist coming back and Jesus coming back for the end of the world. And Dahmer is part of it. And these demons from hell break Dahmer out of jail. Dahmer Zombie Squad is zombies because remember, his defense, I think he's full of shit. I don't believe this at all. When he said that he was trying to make zombies. I'm so lonely. I just want to keep the people here with me, so I'm going to drill holes in their head. I think that was an invention for his defense about being crazy. I don't think it was real, but I took the concept and I ran with it. That's Dahmer's zombie squads. The idea is all these zombies that Jeffrey Dahmer had made break him out of prison. And then Jesus Christ comes back for the second coming and they have a fucking brawl on the White House lawn. It's awesome. It's really funny. I'm really proud of the book. I read the book and I'm like, you know, I haven't read this in a long time. And as I'm doing the big book of Dahmer, I'm like, this thing over here, young Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh my fucking God. Oh God. It's done by a crazy Russian artist, Eric Perukin. That's his real name. In the book, his name is Eric Ganoff, which means eater of pus. He was a professor at the U of I in Champaign-Urbana. So we did the book under a pseudonym so he wouldn't lose his tenure for getting fired from the university. And Eric was a mad genius from Russia. So young Jeffrey Dahmer is written and drawn by a mad genius from Russia who barely escaped from the Soviet Union.
I've seen artwork and I'm like, what the fuck is this? But like you said, right?
He did the Rectum Erectum books. Eric did the Rectum Erectum books from Boneyard Press. If you've seen them with the Mickey Mouse cover and the Donald Duck erection, I sent that to Disney's legal department to provoke a confrontation.
But the books do not show Jeffrey Dahmer as a victim. It doesn't glorify him. It tells him that he's a piece of shit, which he is.
He is a piece of shit. Thank you.
Yes, a horrible person, a monster, an absolute monster. And I didn't watch the full Netflix one, but I watched bits and pieces of it, and it was trying to play
because those assholes put, no, listen, Travis, because those assholes put my book in there, I didn't want to watch that thing. They did not get my permission.
Him like he was a victim. It played him like he was a victim. Oh, his parents were tough on him. Oh, blah 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 blah. Oh, he was homosexual, but he couldn't come out of the closet. It just played it as a victim. And no, he was a monster. He was an absolute monster.
They also, Travis, they really played down the role of his parents. His parents were alcoholics that were like they, and so that's a problem in our country. Is when you've got alcoholic parents, they're not there for their kids. You know, the woman that I'm dating right now, and hey, I love you, babe. Love you. I'm sitting on her porch right now. I'm on her porch. Hey, beautiful. Love you. She's fantastic. But her parents were both serious, hardcore alcoholics, and her mother died when she was 6 years old from her alcoholism. And so it's real. The damage that's done to your children from your alcoholism, from your drinking, from not being there. And both of Jeffrey Dahmer's parents were hardcore alcoholics. They had serious alcohol problems, especially his mother. And so a lot of people gloss over the fact that he started killing in his teens. He had an interest in taxidermy early. That ain't
in the garage,
guys.
But his parents glossed. But his parents glossed over that. Like they saw the signs that he was he was a serial killer. They saw the signs there, and they glossed over it. And like, here's the thing: as a parent, you cannot just gloss over shit like that. If you see signs that your child is in the beginning stages of being a monster, you can't you gotta put it to the side that that's your child, and you gotta do something to intervene. You have to.
Oh, it's hard. It's really, really difficult. And I'll say this: I got to take my hat off to my mom and dad. During the stuff when I made the Jeffrey Dahmer comic book, my girlfriends had all been raped. Like several of my girlfriends had been raped. One of them had been raped by my coworker. at Mabel's. And another one had been kidnapped out of her apartment by a cop's child. And then my girlfriend was raped and murdered in the middle of making The Garbage Man. So for myself, my parents were overwhelmed. They had never dealt with that kind of despair, that kind of violence. My father was at the hotel with my girlfriend when this is going to sound bad. She was the night auditor at a hotel. And so she's the night auditor, accountant for the Charterhouse Inn. And my father was there to be in The Garbage Man. He's there for his part in the movie. So my dad checked in the hotel like really late. And we thought it was okay because Michelle was working there. And we thought it'd be fine. And so my dad checked in, and my dad was there, and he had an early morning wake-up call. We were up all night long doing a time-lapse photography shot for the movie. So we had a 16 millimeter film camera out in my driveway for this time-lapse thing, and the film crew's at my house, and we're all playing poker and we were watching this porno, Splat Man. It was a Batman porno where the guy's literally wearing a Batman costume and he just has like something taped over the Bat logo, and they got sued. So it's something you can't find anymore, but it was called Splat Man. So we're playing poker and we're watching porn, and I talked to my girlfriend at like 4 a.m. and like, hey babe, it's going good. I'm up. I miss you. I love you. Oh, I can't wait to see you. And she's telling me, she's like, I'm tired. I'm working the night shift. I'm doing aerobics so I can stay awake. And then she had to give my dad the wake-up call to be at the house for the time-lapse photography. So my father was the next-door neighbor of the Garbage Man, the serial killer. And it's a black serial killer, which is also interesting. And so my father is the creepy next-door neighbor who likes porn. And so my old man, my dad, he was there at the hotel, and he was the last person to talk to my girlfriend before she was murdered, besides the murderer, besides the person that raped her and killed her. My father talked to her. He got the wake-up call from her. Hey, Fred, gotta get up, and my dad walked up like 10 minutes after the call. My father walked up to the front desk, and doors are kicked in and shit is not right. And my dad could have been a victim too. He could have been also murdered that day. So my relationship with horror and my work in the Dahmer book and what I do is really deep. It's really deep.
Yeah.
And that's your cue to ask a question.
Are you ready?
I'm all good, buddy.
All right.
This is my life. I mean, I've been dealing with this stuff for a long time. It's really tough. I have a doctor. I got post-traumatic stress disorder. So I've got a military doctor that helps me with this stuff. I am kind of crazy, but not that crazy. I'm not gonna kill no.
All right. So I have a question. All right. So you have the American Horror streaming service. That's horror streaming 24/7. What gave you the idea of that?
Well, the funny thing about that is ever since I was a child, I always dreamed of, there was no horror channel. There was never a horror channel. I was born in 1969. So I'm a kid from the south side of Chicago. And there was never a horror TV channel, but I love Svengoolie. I love the do run, 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 the do run, run. I fucking love Svengoolie, and I love horror. And there was a local grindhouse theater down the street from my house, about 5 blocks away, and it was a $1, and then it became $1.50 for a double feature, and they didn't care how old you were.
Oh, nice.
I love the Lyric Theater. The Lyric Theater is back in Blue Island. The Lyric Theater is back. So if you folks get a chance to go to the Lyric Theater, go to it. It's in Blue Island, Illinois, on the south side of Chicago. Great people. They did a $1 million renovation in this theater. That's the theater that I saw all these exploitation films as a kid. I'm so happy it's back. You guys rock. But as far as shit, I went off track. What was your question?
Um, the American Horror.
Okay,
What
American Horror.
good
So
idea? Yep.
American Horrors. I'm a child of the video age. So like for me as a kid, I'm the generation that got to see VHS happen. You know what I mean? Like
I was
it
yes.
was really exciting when a video rental store opened up by my house. And my friends and I, we would get like a case of Jolt Cola, and we would fucking pick 6 movies, and we'd watch with Jolt Cola and air pop popcorn. I don't know if people still have air poppers. I prefer making it on the stove with olive oil
Dude,
or coconut oil, with a paper bag, and I could put the butter in.
I had that as a kid. Yep.
And Lakes, my favorite butter. And in fact, I'm jonesing for popcorn so bad because I cracked my molar in half, and I haven't been able to, I had to pull my tooth. So I haven't been able to eat popcorn for about 2, 3 months. But we were talking about American Horrors, weren't we? So
Yes.
American Horror. So what is it? It's the channel that I'm trying to reproduce what it was like for me as a boy to find these horror movies. So a lot of what we play is I call it the VHS age of horror. It's the VHS age of horror, the dawning of being able to go and find these films that you've heard of. And in the past, if you didn't see it at the theater, or only four, there was only 3 channels actually. There were 3 channels: ABC, CBS, and NBC. And then there was the UHF, which is the round antenna that you screwed in the back of your TV. So if you didn't get to see this stuff in the theater or on your UHF, like a Svengoolie show, you missed it. You missed it. You
Missed it.
didn't
Yep.
get to see it. So for me, American Horrors is a dream come true. It really is. Man, I love doing the channel. I love it. We're down right now. We're down because we're upgrading our service. We're upgrading our server. We're migrating all the content, all the movies to a new server because I've been on the same server for 5 years. And the company's like, Hart, we got to do this. So I'm like, guys, we're black right now for the week. We're here at the beginning of August. I'm not quite sure how many days more it's going to take, but we're going to be back up. And we're upgrading. And what it is these are the movies that I went looking for as a kid. And so these are the movies that my friends are like, Hart, you got to play Daddy Dearest. Hart, you got to play Deadly Games. And one of the coolest stores I got to go to in Los Angeles was Eddie, I think it's called Eddie Brandt's Matinee, BRANDT, Matinee. It was a VHS rental store. And a lot of people don't know that this is one of the favorite places of Quentin Tarantino. Quentin loves to go there and get movies. And they've got old TV shows, all this amazing VHS library. So I got to work with a lot of the guys from there. And a lot of the guys from there helped me figure out, like, Hart, you got to play this movie. You got to play that movie. And Chris J. Miller, the director that I'm in, Mortuary Massacre and Forbidden Dimensions, I'm in there as a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. I watched.
And so I did these films, and Chris introduced me to this group. This I didn't even know about this store, and he introduced me to it. And so a lot of my horror friends all helped me figure out what to put on the network. And my feeling was like, okay, I have not seen this film, but if Chris J. Miller says I should play this movie, God damn it, I should play this movie because I love Chris. And I think Chris has an amazing taste in horror. So a lot of the movies I play on the network, I haven't seen them. I'm like you guys at home. I have not seen these films, but I trust my friends. I trust them. I trust the people that like recommend these movies. And I'm like, somebody out there needs to see this film. And so it's been our philosophy sometimes when, okay, there's times where I don't get to refresh the schedule properly, or the movie did not play when I wanted it to play, and I get
Mhm.
mad as hell. But then there's this other voice in my head that's like, Hart, somebody somewhere needed to see blood on Satan's claw at that moment. They needed that. So somebody somewhere had to see that film. So it's okay. It's okay that you're late. It's all right. It's all right that the network is late. Someone needed to see the film. And I believe in the magic. I do. I do believe in the magic. And I do believe that there are times where when I'm frustrated and the technology isn't working correctly and I can't reboot when I should, it's because somebody needed to watch that movie. Somebody was in a dark place in their life and they needed that movie. That's what American Horrors is it was kind of founded with me and my late wife, Wakako Kawagoshi Fisher. And part of it was when she was sick and recovering from cancer, there was nothing for her to tune out to. All reality programming is bitch, playa, bitch, 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 bitch. It's negative. It's all stabbing people in the back. It's all soap opera. It's horrible. And so the only thing that she could really watch and tune out to was like Big Cat Diaries, where you're looking at lions eating kittens and oh my god, and that cracked me up. And that's the thing that she had to go to watch Animal Planet, Big Cat Diary.
Yeah.
Oh god, and it's all these fucking lions like fucking killing people and killing other animals and eating other animals. But that was totally fine for her. And so American Horror is a big part of American Horror. There's no starving cat ads. There's no starving dogs. There's no starving kids. And I take a financial hit for that, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen at home, I take a financial hit because I refuse to play the starving dogs, starving kids. Oh, God. Oh, channel changer, channel changer. So I won't play them. And I refuse to take the drug advertisement money. I refuse to do it. All these lying cocksuckers. Hey, how many babies has Johnson and Johnson given cancer to?
Wow.
Millions. Johnson and Johnson have given millions of babies cancer, and they knew it. They fucking knew it. They fucking knew it. So you remember that when you are going to believe what they tell you to inject into your body. I won't go there, but I'm going to say they're lying bastards. And that's why there's no drug advertisements. Aspartame causes cancer, assholes. Sweet and low causes cancer, assholes. Hey, grow the fuck up. But in American Horror, it's pretend horror, and I'm getting political, and I'm sorry.
Now I'm gonna ask you a political question after this, but but it's amazing. It's amazing though. It's literally a marathon of horror movies, but it's ongoing. It's 24/7, and it's pretty incredible.
Well, the fun part is there's no commercial interruption, right? Like there's
Yeah.
no commercials during the movie. Because when I was growing up and I'd be watching like Jason Voorhees, Jason Takes Manhattan, and then you've got Jason bursting out of the bushes. He's going to kill the kid.
And commercial.
It goes to commercial. It kills it because suspense is a thing. Like I'm a serious director. I'm a very, very serious director. And so the suspense is lost. And you're not going to get it back, man. No. So at American Horrors, there's no commercials during the movies. And we have original programming that we produce ourselves. And it's not just your usual YouTube bullshit. I mean, Gorecast and Groovy TV and the American Horror Show and the True Crime Show, we worked with really serious people. The American Horrors Intermission. I've signed, man, oh my God. I have signed up so much awesome stuff for the fall. Oh my God, we're going to be having Groovy TV season 2. Fuck, I've signed up so much good shit, so many awesome bands. And then we do uncut music videos too. So horrorcore or metal or whatever, horror country. I don't care. If it's horror, I want to check it out. I want it on the channel. And so I feel like
if you're also into
Go
like
ahead.
paranormal stuff, there's tons of paranormal shows on there as well. So it's a little
Mission
bit of
10.
everything. Hmm.
And the thing about the paranormal shows on other networks, I'm just going to flat out say, hey, honey,
How is
just because little Petey died in 1923 from cholera in your building, that doesn't mean the non-physical entity is that. You assholes. You keep jumping that don't have flesh, that aren't in our reality. They're not in our reality. You can't just, it's little Sally Joe because her dad hung himself in the porch. Shut the fuck up, you fucking moron. And I gotta say, one of the coolest things I just watched was Demon House on Amazon Prime with that asshole from Ghost Adventurers, Zach, whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh,
That
really?
dippity doo jag fucking
It's
moron.
good?
Demon House, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna tell everybody watch Demon House on
'Cause
Amazon
I was on
Prime.
the fence about watching that. I was on the fence about watching that. Now I'm about to watch
Watch
it
it.
now. Okay.
Well, people really got hurt. And the thing is about when you, okay, we haven't gotten into this, Travis, but my childhood home haunted, my country haunted, my house in Los Angeles haunted, doors opening, your name being called. You're sitting in a room, your back is to the door, you're editing, and you hear your wife call your name.
Jeez.
And you turn, and your wife's not there. And so you get up and you walk through the house, and you walk to the front of the house, and your wife's sitting on the couch, and you go, "Hey, honey, were you? Did you need something, honey? Can I help you?" "No, I'm fine. I've been watching TV here for the last 20 minutes." And then what happened to her? Happened to her. She would be sitting editing, and she'd hear my voice, "Okay," and she'd get up and come look for me and go, "Hard? You need something? You okay?" And I'd have to say, "I've been here watching TV for the last 20 minutes. I've been reading the LA Weekly on the porch." You know what I mean? So that would happen all the time. And I've got more. I got to get up right now, Travis, and I got to go let my friend in the door. And I want to come back and talk to you more. Is that cool?
That's cool. But like, so I have worked in the funeral industry as mortician and the cemetery side ever since I was 15, 16 years old. So like when it comes to like paranormal stuff, I've definitely seen my share of shit that I know that
Have you? Tell me
yes,
something,
yes,
Travis. Tell me something spooky.
it's a long story, but I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
I'll tell you off
Okay,
camera.
so I'm friends with the guy who played Jeffrey Dahmer in the movie in the when it happened, when he had his crime, Carl Crew. Carl's a buddy of mine, like a friend, and so at his place, it's gone now. It's the CIA bar is gone, but I had the memorial for my wife in Los Angeles at his bar because my wife was a rock and roll chick. And so Carl was Jeffrey Dahmer in these movies, and Carl was on these talk shows dealing with a lot of these same people that I was dealing with, Arch Murchison and Jeanette Robinson, and the victims' families. You know what I mean, the moms. And so Carl had a lot of the same journey as me, and Carl is and still a friend of mine. And I'll say thank you, Chris J. Miller. He introduced us.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, I got nothing else. That's the end.
Nothing else. All right.
Next question.
All right. So how can everybody find you on
All
social
right.
media?
Well, the easy part is, AmericanHorrors.net. All day, all horror, all American horror. AmericanHorrors.net. That's one way to find us. You can find us on Roku. Right now is I don't know when this interview is going to go up, but we're upgrading our server. So we're upgrading our stream and our software, and we're like fucking jumping the channel up because we have so many viewers. I mean, last year, 10 million viewers. Thank you, horror magazines, for writing about us.
Wow.
10 million viewers. We have, on average, 4,500 to 6,500 unique visitors to the channel a day, every day. We're doing viewership like 15,000 to 25,000 or 35,000 a day. And so right now we're black right now because I'm upgrading everything. But when we're going, we're killing, and we're free. We're free. So I need people to go to AmericanHorrors.net/store. No, it's shop. It's shop, isn't it? AmericanHorrors.net/shop. And buy some stuff to keep us free, to help us. Like, this is how we make our living. This is my full-time job. I do this all day, all night, all horror. We've got American Horrors and American Horrors Classic. And unfortunately, I spent a bunch of goddamn money setting up the new American Horrors Classic channel. We had an ad deal with a company that has not paid us anything for their advertisement. So I've been fucked up the ass. I fucking have been bleeding money on the American Horrors Classic channel with this new ad company that, fuck. Oh, God. God. So I need you guys to buy some shirts. I need you guys at home to buy some coffee cups, some goddamn merch, please, for the love of God.
And
advertise on American Horror.
Yes, yes, and there's also a awesome mystery box. So tell us what's in the mystery box.
Well, the mystery box is a lot of fun. I actually, Trike here, my buddy off camera, the owner of the Lake Geneva comic book store, Trike's Comic Alley. Trike here is one of the first people that said, talk to me about mystery boxes. What do you talk about? And so with comic book publishing and Boneyard Press, we always repackage the books, you know, the big box of Boneyard, the Vampire Hunters kit. That was familiar to me. And so the mystery box is like 10 to 14 books, depending on the book I put in there, because some of them are pretty fucking big. And so the mystery box is a lot of really cool, affordable Boneyard Press merchandise. Now, a lot of people are fans of Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, and they may not know, they might know that I was his mentor, and he had his first published comic books at Boneyard on Raven's Wings. And so on Raven's Wings, number 1 and number 2. Number 1, fuck, that thing sold out. I don't really have many copies of that. But on Raven's Wings, number 2, one of the things that's interesting is when we talk about spiritual energies, I've got a storage facility here in Lake Geneva. So there was a fire there. And a good section of the storage facility burnt, man. It burnt right up to my door, right up to the door of my storage unit that has all the On Raven's Wings number 2. So some of these books got damaged from the fire hoses, the water that leaked in under the door that came in from the firemen. So some of these books they're cool, you could read them, but they're not mint condition. You know, if you're a collector, I gotta have it mint. Is it near mint or is it mint? We call them reader's copies. So one of the things I might put in there in the mystery box is these reader copies.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Damaged, but they're still cool to fucking have and to read. They're cool. So there's OJ's Big Bust Out. There's Doing Time with OJ. I got sued by OJ Simpson, by the way. That's the whole story. So there's all these kinds of stuff like OJ's Big Bust Out or Nightmare Walker or Godflesh, or it's a lot of different books I have. And so it's a hodgepodge. So one of the guys who just bought a mystery box is the director of Cockhammer, Kevin Strange. And Kevin Strange does a lot of movies for Troma. So Kevin, since I knew it was for Kevin, since I knew the box is for Kevin, I'm packing every box myself. I'm drawing on every box myself. And for the next week or so, every order is going to get a sketch from me, like I'm drawing again. A lot of people forget that I'm an artist, that I drew these books. I drew Dark Angel. I drew Bill Bull. I've been drawing since I was 5. I've got a degree in art. I've got lots of gallery shows I've done. So they're going to get these sketches. And I've been doing these videos on my Facebook page of me doing the drawings. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And so Kevin's box is filled with madness. I gave Kevin some fucked up shit, man.
Has he got already or no?
There's some boxes I'm afraid to put like Cadaver in, or Rough Trade. Rough Trade has a story in there with a serial killer that kidnaps people and only feeds them enema water.
What the
Enema
fuck?
water. Yeah, fucked up. Crazy. I wrote and drew that story. So the mystery box, every box is different, and they've got cool little posters. Like I found just recently, I don't know if I told you this, Trey, I found a whole cache of Ginger Hill Babylon Crush posters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like there's different posters or buttons or stickers that I'm throwing into the boxes because I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. At the end of the day, I'm a fan. So I'm trying to like put cool stuff in there. Like if I got the box, oh my God. So that's what I'm putting in the mystery box. A lot of really cool fucking stuff.
I would take a look at your shop. I was like, I gotta ask him what is in the mystery box because I thought that was the first item. One last thing I gotta ask you. This is off topic. I saw that you were with a young Billie Eilish. How do you pronounce her name?
Billie Eilish.
Eilish.
Eilish. Eilish. Right, Trey? Eilish?
I don't know.
Well, that wasn't her last name when she was a little girl. So what's your question?
No, I said I heard that you worked with her when she was young, just starting off at a young age.
Actually, it's worse than that. I knew her mother when she was pregnant with Billy.
Wow.
Her family had the house next door to me in Highland Park, Los Angeles. And so her mom, her dad, Finney, which is her brother, Finney. That's how I know him, Finney. Hey, Finney. Her father's Patrick, her mother's Maggie, and we were all friends. They were my neighbors. Sometimes I was mad as hell at them, but that's what happens with neighbors. But Finney and Billy grew up next door to me, and I'm Billy's first director. I think that it's my understanding that I think her first paid acting job was with me. I'm pretty sure.
I did my research. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Going through her, what do you call it? Her bio, her IMDb, her Wikipedia. So it's interesting to me that we've been shut out. Why has the media ignored the fact that Billie Eilish grew up next door to me?
The Jeffrey Dahmer guy.
Why does the media ignore that Billie Eilish, 4-time Grammy winner, Billie, grew up next door from the beginning? American Horrors was hosted from my house in Highland Park next door to her. If you go to my ALS Ice Challenge on YouTube, the ALS Ice Challenge, one of the people dumping water on my head and ice water on my head is her dad, Patrick. Her dad would loan me tools. And I'd show up and I'd be like, hey, man, I got a 6-pack of beer for you, bro. Thank you for loaning me this tool. You know what I mean? Like, I knew these people. I totally knew them. I knew Finney. I knew Billy. I knew Maggie. I knew Patrick. I know the bodies are buried, bro. There is some stuff that happened with Billy that has not been in the press at all.
Well, that's gonna be we're gonna talk about that in our second interview.
Yeah. Yeah,
Next time
dude.
I want
Our
to get,
second interview, I think so.
and the next time I want to get you and Christopher both on. I think that would be an amazing interview.
But I knew. Okay, I cast Billy. There's a reason Billy's in the opening credits for the American Horror's TV show from 2008. So she's there with her girlfriend, and they're all in their little Sunday dresses, and it's awesome. I knew she had something. I'm a guy who finds talent. I'm good at finding and developing talent. That's one of my number one skills. I'm really good at this. Really goddamn good. I discovered John Cassaday, Duncan Rouleau, so many people, Gerard Way, all these people started with me. And I love it. I love it. I love opening the door. I love selling them. I like introducing like John Cassaday, John Captain America artist. Did he do X-Men too?
Astonishing X-Men.
Astonishing X-Men. John and I are friends. Like we're friends. So I walked him through the entire San Diego Comic-Con and I introduced him to every editor I knew at every other comic book publishing company, because if you're serious, and I'm telling the audience this, if you're for real, if you really believe, help them make it. Stop trying to get money off of it. I introduced John to everybody because I thought John was amazing. I thought John was such a great artist. I wanted to help him. And I did that with so many of my artists as I walked them around and introduced them to every editor of Harris, Vampirella, DC, Marvel, all of them. I'm really connected. That's the funny part. I know everybody. I fucking know everybody. I'm Hart fucking Fisher. So it was a pleasure for me to take John out and introduce John to all these different editors, because I want my people to succeed. I want my people to eat. I want my people to win. It isn't about me. And that's a funny thing. That's a weird thing to put out there. I believe in my people. I love my people, and I want them to succeed. And it ain't about me, it's about them. And that's a dirty secret about Hart Fisher.
Hart, you have been actually amazing guest. I definitely want to have you back on. I really do. This has been
Travis, we didn't even get into the racial shit that we were talking about off
we did
camera.
not. We didn't get into we didn't get into none of that shit. But I'm being serious. We're gonna get back on soon. And I appreciate you coming on, and your agent, by the way, Abby, is that her name?
Abby, yep. Abby Jean Wilson. Abby Jean Wilson from All Booking and Promotions. Abby Jean Wilson from All Booking and Promotions. Lovely
Abby,
lady, awesome
it's
booker.
amazing. Abby's amazing. So she's the one who actually reached out to me. Amazing. And I'm glad
You know
she
what?
did.
She needs to hear that, Travis. She's going through some shit. Some shit went down today. So you saying this is going to help her.
She was just 100% pleasant. I mean, she reached out to me. She planned everything. It was just boom. And I was just like, wow, I wish more agents worked that way.
Well, she's part of the team.
Yes.
We're a team here. I mean, you can't make a movie by yourself, guys.
You can't.
You could do a comic book by yourself. You draw it and you do everything, but a movie or a TV series, you need your people. You need your friends. It's a team effort, and Abby's a really good team player. She really is, and she's a believer, and she's really been there for me. I gotta say that she's really been there for me. She's really helped me, and she's been fantastic promoting American Horrors and Boneyard Press.
Yeah, she's been an absolute blast to work with in the last week or two. I mean, anytime I had a question, she would send me over the information. I mean, just amazing.
I'm sorry, Travis. The freeze frames that are happening on my video feed are hilarious because they're capturing you. Oh my God. I'm
So
sorry if I'm
I'm glad to
cracking up
not
or
catch up
something.
on my side.
Oh my God.
But she's been absolutely amazing. So thank her. I'm gonna thank her as well. And Hart, thank you for coming on. We're definitely gonna have you back on soon. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'm gonna see you guys next time. Take care.